Hello everyone. Let me stop the music for a second so I can focus with you. And also let's do this. Hello. Yeah, I sometimes hate putting headphones for too long. So I'm glad I have this. Aragon, thank you so much. So, welcome everyone. Good to see you. Good to have you. See familiar people here. So, I have a couple of announcements. We'll go through them before we start today's session. So, feel free to ask any Unreal Engine questions you have during today's stream. So, Wolf, Aliriza, Azdi, Amiljar, good day to you guys. How are you doing? And Wizel, Habibi, it's good to see you. I hope you can hear me well. And if you do, let me know. And since Wizel is here, buddy, it's so good to see you. If you're here, post another emoji or dab. I'm going to start with the first announcement. Speaking of your boy Wizel, since you're here, buddy, me and Wizel spoke a couple of, at least 8 months ago that we want, and let me also do this, that we want to do something together in terms of reviewing the community work in Archviz. We both have been doing Archviz for so long. We developed an eye for stuff, and I would be really, I will learn so much. Like, the reason I'm doing this because I'm gonna learn from you, Wizel, how to criticize constructively others' work. So this is something we spoke about and we want to do. So if you are working with Unreal Engine, Archviz, environment design, so let's try to limit it to Archviz, so which is the topic of this channel mainly. If you want review on your work, if you want feedback, if you are doing some work in progress, submit a link, and that link can be either a comment of your portfolio on this video, or you can join us on Discord and go to finished work section. I can't open it on this PC, and post your work. So that's the first announcement. And let me read the chat while I say that stuff. So I'm with touch. Hey, so yeah, guys, I'm really excited about this idea, and we want to help each other as a community to improve our work. And here's a link to Yaboy Art on Artstation. If you're learning Unreal Engine and Blender, and they are the Artstation learning, you can search for his tutorials. Amazing stuff. Pedro Amiljar, watching from Brazil. Pedro, good morning. Good morning. That's a good morning. 7 a.m. watching this stream. That's what I call productive morning. And here is coffee, and here is cheers to you, Pedro, and everyone. Where the rest are watching from? Asdi, I learned modeling tools from UEF Games and create sci-fi ship in Unreal Engine. This is actually an amazing channel I want to shout out to. Thank you, Asdi, for sharing this. Let's just search on YouTube. So actually, guys, during the stream, feel free to share the resources you're learning from, but not this channel. Is it this? Let's type Unreal Engine, perhaps. I know the channel you're talking about, but it's different letters, I believe. We're getting closer. Wizzle, my man. Yes, I'm very excited too, and I'm gonna ping you this week so we can coordinate with on this. Louis from Philippines. Hey, buddy. The second announcement I want to go to, I'm gonna post a link in the chat as well. So if you are someone who is experienced in 3D modeling and mainly creating high quality 3D assets for Unreal Engine in architecture, we're looking for people to join us part-time, full-time, contractor, freelance, all types of people, because we're building for future a marketplace, and we also need always 3D artists to help us create high quality models to use in our projects. And our projects mainly are architectural projects like AEC industry, anything around that. So meaning like as digital twins, always the most photorealistic results we are after. So basically that, because digital twins. And the other type of projects we do is, you've seen Nike project and retail stuff. So it's metaverse environments or game environments. So if this is what you do, I'm gonna post a link to this, and we're working on more details. So there will be a test, by the way. Once you submit your name and all, and your portfolio and CV and whatnot, there will be a test, and after the test, we can have a chat and move forward. So that's that. I'm gonna post a link. Also, I'm gonna leave a link in the comment of this video. So these are the two announcements I have. I'm really excited to... I met so many amazing people from the community, by the way, like from you guys, Discord and YouTube, and I worked with some of you already, and it's amazing, honestly, because the way we interact, like we know each other in a way, and you see my videos, my tutorials, so you know my workflow and whatnot. So this is so nice, right? Awesome. So let me read the chat one final time, and we will get into today's topic, which is building and talking about cinematics in Unreal Engine. So we're gonna talk about exporting things from Blender, and we're gonna talk about making cinematics and things to consider. Alirizra. So from Philippines, from Australia, we have Wolf, buddy, Habibi, kifak. All right, so you remember this environment. You may see some videos in the... If you don't see some of the live streams I do, that's because I'm trying to keep the channel a little organized, and they are all in a playlist, okay? So if you found any missing videos from these live streams, they are inside the playlist. They should be somewhere here. And we're gonna organize them soon by topic, because the last live stream I went was on architecture. And if you didn't see this, this is actually very, very good one. I talk a lot about Lumen and why we should break down our meshes and whatnot. And now we have a team of video editors. We have two now, which is amazing. And they are working on extracting the most useful information from all these videos, and we are also putting timestamps. So if you can help us also creating timestamps, comment on the video, I would appreciate it. So thank you guys. That's all. Let's get into it. So there are like 5 streams already on this, in case you wonder how we got to this point. And if not, don't worry, the all basics, they all still apply. I just want to set the chat here for one final time. Maro, good morning from Japan. Good morning, buddy. You look like from Sparta. This is Sparta! Yeah, man. But coffee! I want to make my hair longer now. I don't know. I want to try a new look, but only this part. So we will see how it goes, Maro. I'm wondering, maybe it's just better if I 3D scan my face and try different haircuts now, since it is really accessible. Okay, so in Blender, I made modifications on my meshes. I want to replace some of the meshes I have in Unreal Engine, and camera looks good. So in Unreal, right now there are some meshes that, like, the mapping is not right and they could use an update. So I'm going to replace some of these, and I will share with you the process of how I will try and keep things organized, because this project is not so organized. There are so many folders and things, but it's okay, because we can organize it together and show you some of the different techniques I use to select things and organize things. Now, in Blender, I want to start with this area, the ceiling here, and here this part, because I was thinking in the cinematic, if I press Control Space to open my shot, this is one of the first shots I'm going to open the cinematic with, and I want to replace, to make this slightly more visible here, and I want to replace some of the parts here. So let's go ahead and do that. I already did some modeling. I didn't do any UV mapping yet. We will do it after. We will see ways we can work around that. So I'm going to select the meshes I want to export, but first I want to isolate these meshes to check if they are good for what I want, because I am nearing the process where I don't want to export things after. So this would like almost semi-final exports. So we will organize things in Blender as well. And since this is a large project, and here's my important advice, if you are working with software ray tracing, I highly recommend detaching your scenes or your meshes into smaller parts, especially when it's something on large scale like this environment we have, because Lumen uses mesh distance fields, and they are generated based on the scale, and they are related to the scale and the size of the mesh. And for higher quality for the mesh distance fields, you need to detach your meshes. So earlier in the, I don't know why sometimes it's so dark like so, but you can see, for example, this here, you have like nice quality. It's sort of defined, but if we look for any other model, you look here, you look here, you look here, oh my god, you look here, and you can see, wow, like it's such, it's low quality, like these, what are these, especially when you compare it to the original mesh. So that's why we detach our meshes inside of Unreal Engine, or like in 3D tools. Basically, yes, that's why. Whether for Lumen, in order for higher quality mesh distance fields, if you are using dynamic lighting, but if you're using static lighting, the reason we detach our meshes is for higher quality on the UV space for the light maps. Sorry, let me stay hydrated. I hope all of you are staying hydrated. So stay hydrated. Wolf, I didn't see the video. How did you've been busy? There are previous videos, as I mentioned earlier, on the list, and we will go through the process now more. Captain Vicky, hello from India. Hello back to you, buddy. How is your day going? And for all of you guys, I hope you all had a productive week. How was your week? You worked on any projects? How many of you are doing the moving meditations Clint challenge? Are you working on portfolio projects? What's up? Tell me. All right. So let's prepare this for export. For such mesh, I imagine it's sort of large, and we can detach this into smaller pieces, because we can achieve higher quality in terms of reflections, or well, just I'm using, by the way, hardware ray tracing, so it doesn't really matter for me. Like, this is the best quality we can get in a way in terms of the global illumination. Mainly, you will see the main difference here when you detach your meshes like so. In the global illumination, it will be different, and reflections. Some reflections might appear black completely and breaking the immersion of your scene. So, like, yeah, this is the complications, I forgot, of like why we detach our scenes. Now, this mesh here, I can either select this part. So press Shift Z inside Blender to select, like, to go to wireframe mode. And I want to detach this into multiple pieces, right? So maybe I can start with these, so these can be separate. And I don't know if I want even to do some like final modeling details or something, but I think in this case, no. So press Shift while I'm selecting to select the faces, rotate by holding middle mouse button, press shift to move or pan your view. I'm becoming better in Blender, guys. Many of you will be proud. And you make it so much easier for me to learn Blender because during these live streams, you share with me your tips and tricks and whatnot. And I press 5 on the numpad to switch between orthographic and perspective views. I do that also a lot inside 3ds Max. Sometimes I feel for orthographic, I feel in orthographic mode you can select things or do modeling better or easier sometimes, or rotate around your object. So let's select this final face, and now if I move this around, just checking, I'm gonna press P to separate, and I'm gonna select selection. I will make sure, yeah, this is my selection, but I want these faces here actually. So let's select. So select this one face, press Ctrl Shift, press here, it will select this for us, the shortest path. P to detach or separate again, and do this. And since we're here, I think we need these exterior or upper parts on each side or of these. But for now, I'm going to not focus on them and fill my selection so I can have like normal meshes. So I'm selecting. So here we want actually to delete this part. Delete, yes, faces, yes. All right. So now this whole part, I can select it like so, or I can simply select this, then press Ctrl, click on here, and I can press P. And now Unreal, when I import these, it will be easier to generate mesh distance field for this one. But something important to keep in mind is our meshes should be closed as well, if possible. I'm not really sure about this, but actually no need, because the approximation of the mesh distance field will still be around the mesh. But I don't know, for me personally, I prefer to keep things like closed like so, to avoid light leaks, that kind of stuff. It's a good practice, I would say. But for concepts and quick things and whatnot, it's you can not do it, right? Like not do it, but like you can do it at the end of project or something. So select this part, isolate it, and I don't want to go extremely deep in how I'm isolating things, but I want to add some sort of details on here. So we will see. Isolate selection. The same here. So I'm selecting an edge, I'm pressing F. If this is too small, let me know, I can make it bigger. Let me read the chat while we're here, or before we do that, let me just finish this part of the preparing the mesh or detaching the mesh. And we said the same around here, we want to delete this, right? I believe Yosh, right? So X faces. Okay. Again, I just press 2 to switch, like 1 for vertices, 2 for this guy, 3 for this guy. So press 2, Alt, click to select a loop, Control, click on this mode, select mode for the face. Boom, it will select this for us. P to separate, and then I can press on this edge and press F multiple times And I know it's filling this side here because you remember this is closed, right? So if we press F, it will fill this for us. Therefore, looking good. Let's do the same here. Shift Z, 3, oh no, Tab 3, select this, P to detach selection, and this here, I think it looks alright. And I think this is more applicable on Archviz projects when it comes to an environment like this, unless like it's extremely detailed or like you're working on this is just for cinematic purposes. So you don't have to do this. I'm just saying reminder. But if you want this for gameplay, if you want to make it more modular, if you want more performance, better visuals, yeah, then yes. Let's dissolve edges and let's fill this face. And sometimes you need to help Blender. So if you select these two edges and press F, it won't do anything. And in fact, it would make your mesh worse, right? So you need to select only one edge, then press F. It will fill the face for you. But now I think there's something wrong here. So, okay. So if you select this again, press F, nothing is happening. Select one, press F, it will do its best to help you fill it. So F again to fill it again, then you can select this and dissolve, but then click this and press J. So instead of doing that, let's delete these two faces. Select this edge instead of these two, right? So sometimes you need to look around your model and see how you can use it to your advantage. Or yeah, so in this case, we do this. I love Blender just for this, the fill feature. So now we finished detaching this model and filling its faces except for this part here, but we can do this part after I read the chat. So shout out to Hazal or Mukarram for editing this later. Let's read the chat. Captain, Vicky, you're starting to learn Unreal Engine as you're getting a job in the metaverse development company. Nice, nice. We have so many work in this area, the metaverse, retail, galleries, online shopping, virtual spaces for meetings, for work. It's very interesting where the demand for design and virtual spaces. It's something actually we're actively working on. So if you're a designer, hit me up. Good luck, Captain Vicky. I would focus on prototyping, lighting, getting spaces feels right. So always have a mannequin in any environment you're building. Amazing, man. Ali Riza, Habibi. How, Habibi? Please make a video for realistic lighting in Unreal Engine 5. So the next stream, guys, just so you know, I believe 100, not 100, 80% chance the next stream on in Unreal Engine I will do, because I'm nearly finished with this environment, will be on lighting in Unreal Engine and optimizing Archviz meshes and furniture stuff for better lighting, because the last stream I did 4 days ago, this one, and I want to continue on this stream. So you can see here, these will be later in playlists for you to watch later. These streams, if in case you don't see them here, and they will be replaced with shorter and more informative videos. So yeah, the next stream will be on lighting, Habibi. You get it. I got you, Omi. Let me stretch. Just I feel some like. It's important, guys, to set these type of timers. You see, I'm supposed Yeah, actually now in 2 minutes I'm supposed to take a break, like to stretch for 5 minutes and whatnot. If you have Windows 11 and search for clock, you will find like these timers, and there's also this new feature where you can like set your focus timers and focus goals. It's very cool. Today I tried something to increase the internet speed, and it seems that the stream quality and the speed is better. For you guys who watch consistently, do you feel anything different in terms of quality? So no frames are dropped today, which is very nice. And while we're at it, let's just big picture mode, put the chat, drink some coffee, drink some coffee. Yeah. Where's the chat? I lost the chat. I keep losing the chat. I have just one large monitor. I should get another one. Kiran, Habibi, love from Nepal. Kiran, buddy, it's good to see you again. You are here in every stream. I'll give you plus. Wolfman, I'm gonna translate in real time because it's in Arabic. It would be easier, Wolf, if you write in Arabic too, please. I have Unreal Engine 5, but I don't know from where to start. Okay, this depends on what you're trying to achieve with Unreal Engine. But generally, if you want a place to start, I would imagine like your first 5 to 6 to let's say even 10 hours in learning Unreal Engine. First, start with getting familiar with Epic ecosystem, the marketplace, Sketchfab, Megascans, all these things around Unreal Engine, and get familiar with Unreal Engine interface and its different tools on high level. So what is the Unreal Engine structure looks like, how to use navigate the interface, what is the word outliner, some shortcuts, and all that kind of stuff. So I would imagine this would be the first couple of hours. This is number one. Then I would learn materials, or wait, yeah, I would learn data. I would learn actually data. So once I am familiar with Unreal Engine and its interface and all the ecosystem around it, I would learn more about the data pipeline, how to bring in my projects from my 3D tool of choice, whether Blender, Max, Revit, Rhino, anything you use. If you use something, I'm assuming, let's say, most of you do. So I would learn about this. I would learn about FBX, datasmith, JLTF, USD formats. I would just learn more about data. I would learn about textures, what are normal maps, what is the power of two, all that stuff. And this would allow you to bring in your things, right, from your tool of choice to Unreal. Now, if you don't use any 3D program, then I would learn more how to navigate the marketplace and find a topic that it would interest me to learn about. And the marketplace is full of free assets you can download and talk about. There is actually video soon about like my top resources from the whole internet, from where I get my meshes and like assets and whatnot. But the best place is the Unreal Engine marketplace. Number three. So now, number one, you're familiar with the ecosystem. Number two, you're familiar and like Unreal Engine. Number two, you're familiar with data and bringing in assets, and you have better understanding of compression formats and whatnot. Number three, I would learn materials. Now, lighting in Unreal Engine, thanks to Lumen, is extremely easy. So I would dig in it after I learn some materials. So I would learn materials, and I would learn how to use the material editor, the different nodes, different functions, how to create master materials, how to modify Megascans master materials, but that's maybe for later. But I would still take a sneak peek, and I would learn material instances, material functions, comments. So I would learn materials, really. I would spend like 3-4 hours just watching tutorials and learning materials. Next, I would watch more technical things on lighting and Lumen and start with Lumen, I would say. It's so important now. You know the engine, you know how to bring your data, you know how to fix their materials. Now you can make things look good, because lighting is like it's lighting, right? So basically you do that. I learn lighting. I learn about lumen. I would learn about light maps. I would learn about using the different light sources in Unreal. I would learn about light functions and so on. Once I do that, I would learn more about the modeling tools, the things I can do with the modeling tools, the UV mapping, the unwrapping, things that would make my life easier in Engine instead of always exporting my data from like tool of choice to Unreal. And by learning the modeling tools, you will be able also to prototype and block out your scenes directly inside Unreal Engine. So it makes sense. After modeling tools, I would learn more about landscapes and landscape materials and then foliage and so on. So yeah, I hope this helps you, Wolf, and everyone who is getting into Unreal Engine on like a guide on how to get started, like what is the right path. In my opinion, this is the right path. And I've been developing, like since I got authorized from Epic, some sort of path, learning path for people from different backgrounds. And this is what I have in my advanced or like in my courses in general, whether now or in the ones coming soon. And there are some very good news coming soon, but I'm gonna not say anything. I forget. I'm not gonna say anything now, but expect so much more content on the channel. So if you're enjoying this stream, blah, 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 all stuff, leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Reach more people. Let's read more chat. Next question. Field Dog. Buddy, is he making high poly kitchen? Oh, I see what it is. Yes. So what I'm doing here to give a little, what is it? A little, I forgot. Little thank you for subscribing, guys, by the way, all of you. Overview, background on this project. So this is a project that is inspired from a couple of films, I would say. Dunes, Cyber, Blade Runner, Brutalist Architecture, and my imagination. And it's mainly to practice what I just wanted to make something that looks intimidating, brutalist, and mysterious. Still working on it. And I started this as a block out inside Unreal Engine. So using the 3D modeling tools, I first started with this. And this gave me an idea about the type of scene I want, the look and feel, right? Sorry about the frame rate because there's so much going on. But yeah, there we go, it's improved. I'm also limiting my frame rate, by the way. So here's a quick tip. If you're struggling with hitting like frame rates, I recommend limiting how many frames the engine is going to render, and even better, I would even turn off real time, right? So if you need like much better performance in your viewport, so real time is off. If you want everything in real time, I would recommend turning this from like unlimited, taking all your GPU power all the time, to the console command t.max fps, then space, then type the number of frames per second you want. So I'm gonna type 12. This is now set to 12. It would take a few seconds to adjust, but now it's capped at 12 and it won't go higher. But let's type it again. I'm gonna set it to 24. It's okay for now. Yes, Phil, this is a background on the kitchen I'm making. So yes, I started in Unreal. Then I broke my scene here. I did further development. I took the scenes, the assets from Unreal, the source assets, to Max first, and I built on top of it. And then I took it to Blender because I wanted to learn Blender. I wanted to take this project as an opportunity to learn Blender, and that was also the main purpose of it. And I did it. It was a really nice experience learning Blender and using the different tools of it, because I wanted to learn modeling in Blender and be comfortable with it in architecture for so long, you know. And yeah, I documented some of the process. There are so many videos are saved as well, and here we are. And yeah, so it's mainly, I think, for short films or something. I'm having ideas to create something. So yeah, that's the purpose. And I hope so far for everyone who've been following, you've been enjoying this and you're making your own scenes. And I think the most important takeaway so far from this is there's so much you can do with decals. Decals can completely change the look of your project if they are placed correctly. So I press G to just select any of these decals, then press Ctrl Shift A to select all similar actors, then press G again to hide this noise. I have a custom shortcut to hide selection, so let's do that. And which is Shift H. I'm gonna show you that there is actually a tutorial coming this week on how to do that, but it's mainly if like select, right click any asset, when from visibility you have show hide only, hide selected, show only selected, show all actors. So you can set shortcuts for these from the editor preferences. You just search for it and you'll find it. So look at this, without decals and with decals. It's almost different project, almost. And all of these are extremely simple shapes, and this is what's interesting for me about this project. And I wanted to see what I can do with lighting. I think later I wondered if I can add some sort of noise. I need to ask a friend about it, Xavier. And I want also to add some particles and whatnot. Ali, can you do the same with ZBrush instead of Blender? I think yes, if you are talking about detaching meshes and like doing these operations, I believe so, because ZBrush got like the polygroups or something, but I would not recommend doing that because oh, I know, nice. It's just so much easier to do so inside of Blender. Unless you're used to ZBrush, then yes. But ultimately, anything that works for you and you feel it will, it's what makes you comfortable. Ultimately, everything about 3D, like the fundamentals are the same, right? So if you learn poly modeling in 3ds Max, you know how to do poly modeling in Blender or Cinema 4D or even now ZBrush. If you learn topology in any tool, it's the same topology across everything, right? So we are at a time where anyone from any tool can work together. And I was trying to help Blender here. Let's save. V Senpai, love from India. Thank you. Love back to you too. Amil Jar, my friend, I have a question. I'm doing some tests with path tracing, and the path tracing is deforming the mesh. Is there any trick with the meshes or improvement on the path trace not to deform it? Are the meshes are getting deformed are nanite meshes? Because if yes, I'm not sure if path tracing supports nanite meshes. Amil Jar. Dog, why not just select non-manifold geometry and press F to fill it with n-gons? Dog, honestly, I have a question to you and to everyone who is good in Blender. So yesterday, I remember a couple of years ago, I saw something called when we have a mesh. So let's just make a cube and we tap to edit, then go to extrude manifold. I don't see the handle and I don't know why. And I don't know how to bring it. I know from extrude, the normal extrude, we can do this. But when I switch to extrude manifold, I don't know what happens. But now you're saying manifold mesh or non-manifold geometry. And this is the first time I hear this term, to be honest. So I need to put it on Google for research later. And if you can show me from where I can put that, it would be nice. And so I know we have object add. So by the way, for everyone who is like learning Blender, especially Max users, what I'm trying to do is to teach Blender from the perspective of a Max user. So if you want to take that leap, do it. And maybe you can do a stream just for Blender, all the basics. If you're interested, let me know in the chat. Actually, I would know if you're interested. Wolfman, how you know to speak Arabic? Bro, I'm from Syria, from Halab, Habibi, from Aleppo, for those who don't know Halab. But I live in Istanbul, Turkey, and I lived in Algeria. I left Syria like 12, 11 years ago. So I speak English, Arabic, little Turkish. I forgot all the French I used to speak. And if I want to learn a new language, what it would be? Just improve my English. Tijarek, buddy. Hey, I know I've said this before, but thanks a lot for your free content. The quality is amazing, and it's good to hear that you are doing to filter out the streams. BTW, by the way, the Blender tips. Thank you. Thank you, man. This makes me really happy, and you guys keep me going, really. So my goal is to inspire and help as many artists as possible to learn these tools and to make things that make you happy, you know? Because I like that feeling when you finish a project or do something and you feel so good about it. And to build, of course, a community around this where all of us help each other. One of the future um, plans we have for this channel is to have more of you guys guest people who can make like content and tutorials and share tips. So we're working. I would expect this in the upcoming month, but I imagine like this channel and like everything we're doing on the educational side of things, it's really like if you read my tagline on LinkedIn, I want to read like inspire 1 million people to do so, like the Unreal Engine and all the different industries. I want to do that. It's like on my roadmap. I wake up about this, sleep thinking about this. So that's one. And I want just, yeah, man, for sharing is caring. I just, how can I put it? I think this is a time where I was reading this yesterday, like learning different skills and mixing them in creative ways. This is where the future is at. So I want to make it possible to share as many skills as possible around what we do, around all the tools we use, all of them. So that's the goal. Tuban, is there difference between importing files from datasmith and regular FBX or OBJ? Good question. So let's talk first about datasmith. Datasmith mainly it's tool made by, or a collection of tools, I would say, packed inside of datasmith. So there is so much more happening behind the hood. It's compatible with so many tools, so many plugins, so many render engines. Like it takes in consideration, for example, Interior Max, Rail clone objects and whatnot. So datasmith is a collection of tools, not only like a file extension that will take your scene from almost any project that it is supported. Well, not almost all projects or tools that datasmith support, and translate the elements of this scene, whether geometry, textures and materials, animations, lights, cameras, exposure values, to Unreal Engine. So you can pick up from the point of where datasmith exported and continue from there. And I also think of datasmith as one of the best tools to collaborate and also for non-destructive workflows, because when you export a scene or an asset with datasmith inside of Unreal Engine, all you need to do is to find your actor. So let's say in this case, I have always datasmith folder inside of my projects, and I can, let's say I want to replace the ceiling, I can just right click and replace all the ceilings. Now in FBX, you need to select that specific mesh or OBJ or whatever and then re-import it. And of course, for exporting these meshes, you can either use the native tools available in your tool of choice, or you can download some scripts that will help you export your scenes. Now, unfortunately, datasmith is not supported for Blender. There is an old community version, and there are also some amazing plugins that are available for Blender. There is one I wanted to cover, but I completely forgot its name. I need to get in touch with a friend of mine called Amal, but it will be for another stream. But this one, if you just search Blender datasmith, you'll find the GitHub page for this, and you can download it and start using datasmith for Blender. It's not perfect, it's not made by Epic, but it's really good for at least translating our geometries. So, Tuban, I hope this is a useful answer. Blink, buddy. Hello, buddy. How's it going? I hope you are having good weekend. Blink, you are new here. Wolf, how do I... This is a question for completely another time. I never published any game on Steam, so I can't help you on this, but you need to use your best friend or your new best friend on these questions, Google. So that's completely related to Steam, I believe, like developer account and whatnot. There are also amazing tutorials on how to publish your Unreal Engine games on Steam, so I would recommend you search for that. Expanded Galaxy Gaming, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Mustafa, why does 3ds Max program not have direct link with Unreal Engine? In the future, it will. I think it's under development, so at some point in future there will be direct link with Unreal. So it's a matter of hopefully weeks, months, not years, but yeah, I have no idea, but I know it's like in the making. So because like it's requested future for so long, and it would be incredible. There is an exporter, I need to take a note on this, but let me see if I can find it. Unreal Engine layers exporter. There is a plugin I want to highlight. I'm gonna do it next stream or make a video on it. It's very nice plugin for 3ds Max to export all your layers automatically instead of selecting every single layer and exporting that layer on its own. There is like this datasmith workflow I use where I separate my main meshes. I separate ceilings from floors, from walls, because I want to make it easy for me to import or re-import parts of the project. So I think if we see live link, this could solve some problems. Pablo Yadav, these are so many kitties. How are you doing? Expanded Galaxy Gaming, buddy. Have you ever worked with Unreal Engine UE2 or height maps? I don't understand UE2, but height maps, yes. Do you mean World Creator? I worked a lot with height maps, and I don't think I did any stream on world building. I'm not sure. Maybe we can consider height maps and landscapes for a future stream. What do you think, guys? All right, so let's continue. Let's come back here and let's select this, delete. I'm gonna press Shift Z, 3, no, Tab, 3, detach these. So they're like two groups now. And then I will so let's select these parts. I usually press G just to move things around and then right click to make sure my selection is right. So I'm selecting all the parts I want to export and putting them all under one collection. This will make it easier for me. Okay. I'm gonna call this a new export for now. It's not the best organization, but it's okay. It works. Select. I still need to learn better how to move in the viewport in Blender. I still struggle with rotations, but getting there. So these two. And these as well. So this here, I think I need to detach it into other multiple pieces because each wall is massive and I need better mesh distance fields on them. So I'm trying to optimize this scene as much as possible also for like hardware ray tracing. Just in case if I want to open this on a PC that does not have hardware ray tracing. So select these walls and detach your selection on each. Wolf, can you please try and keep it to English, the chat, because it's hard for me to like do multiple things together, translate and then answer in English and then, sorry, because the text is so small. Because I want to work with these meshes in the outline mode. But why I don't see the wireframe? X-ray, shadow. I think wireframe from here. Yes. Thank you, Wolf. I'm trying to port height maps from UE2 levels to UE4. And haven't had much success. So in Unreal Engine, there are, well, that's in Unreal Engine 4 and 5. I'm not sure about 3. There are options to export the height map to a PNG image or like just to an image. So there are no such things in Unreal Engine 2. And what are ways I would export a landscape height map or extract it? That's an interesting problem to solve. What is the plugin to drag from UE4 Blender? That's cool. Or is it you? It's actually for both Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 5. It's datasmith for Blender. It's a community plugin. And datasmith, it's a plugin developed by Epic Games. And it is to streamline the process of exporting and importing our projects, our work. So I'm gonna show you in a moment, but let's just get rid of, clean up this mesh, dissolve vertices. Yeah, and then I think it'd be so much easier if I just duplicate this mesh multiple times. So select this, delete. This is in the middle. Press Alt D. So it's linked. Right click or no need, but R60. Yes. How do you import? So Wolf, regarding your question on the characters, are you talking about these? So these characters are regarding a question on getting familiar with the Epic ecosystem, but these are Paragon characters. So if you go for Unreal Engine Marketplace, if just type on Google Unreal Engine Paragon you can find this, or just type here in the marketplace Paragon. You can find all these characters that you can import. So when you add any of these to your engine, sorry, so let's say you like this, right? Click on it, you sign in to download. Once you do, it will ask you to open this asset in Epic Games Launcher. So if you have Epic Games Launcher in the vault, you can search also for Paragon, and you can add any of these to your project, right? It's that simple. So that's how I have these characters. And there are so many good characters. They come with animations, skins, and many things. And they're nice if you're prototyping a game or something. So we're supposed to take a break. Let me just stand up for a couple of minutes and let's open the chat. ASR, it has a very nice pie menus for snapping, orientation, origin, and cursor placement, etc. You're talking about Blender, right? Yes. Fast stuff. Expanded Galaxy. I have them extracted, I just can't seem to get them to create the same topology for the terrain. Think I'm missing detail regarding specifics, differences between the way the terrain works in each engine. Did you experiment with the terrain tools and the road tools and the sculpting tools of the terrains in Unreal? Or yeah, I mean that misses the point of working, like saving you time, because I think you just need the exact same terrain, right? I wish I can help here, buddy, but I imagine if you want the exact same terrain, then you may not need to export the height map. You may need to export it in a way as a mesh, and then in a way you can capture that mesh as a height map inside of Blender. It's like some sort of complex setup, but it can be done, and then you can generate mesh from height map. There are some tutorials out there how to make height map from meshes on Blender, but that's how I would do it, I guess. If you managed to export it as a mesh. Gurbal, if I don't set screen resolution 1280-720 in blueprints, what is the native resolution the game automatically opens at? That's a good question. I think the native resolution the game opens at is whatever the resolution the user computer is set to. So I open all Unreal Engine projects on my wide screen. Here I have like wide screen, not 19 by 16 by 9. So all projects open to the whole screen, right? So it's like wide. And let's say your user interface in Unreal Engine is designed to be, let me just do this, maybe it will be easier to see. So widescreen. Yeah, there we go. Here's widescreen. Your user interface is designed for not widescreens, for like the normal aspect ratio, which is, let's say, here, right? So if I open the game like this, the interface will be clipped, and on the sides I will have the game, but the interface will be just on the sides of my screen. So basically it's not annoying, but if you want for your experience to look good in everything, there are anchor points that you can use, for example, and set things. So there is actually so much to learn about the user interface. UMG editor, Unreal Motion Graphics code is the editor or the user interface, and it's so good. And all of these problems I'm talking about, they can be like solved if you just learn more about it, learn about the anchors mainly. Like every asset you click in the 2D menu will have some sort of pivot point in 2D with some weird things. It's not weird, it's just like easy. But yeah, so I would say the massive difference you want to take account for is how you're distributing your Unreal project, whether let's say it's for PC and also for mobile. But that's also, of course, it will be like on much higher level when it comes to the user interface design and these type of things. But what you want to generally avoid is clipping. Let's say the user interface is designed for an ultra wide screen, but someone opens it on normal screen and then they don't see the buttons, and that sucks. You don't want that, right? So many things to account for when it comes to user interface and user experience, but that's a start. And whoever just subscribed 5 minutes ago, Ratmir, thank you. Expanded Galaxy, welcome to the channel, buddy. Thank you for subscribing too. Taki, Team, Malicious, Jim Jam, my art studio, Old Burav, holy wow. So many, welcome guys. Gurbal, I'm glad this helped you understand this better. Good stuff. Moon. The Arabic channel, we have things planned for it. Just be patient, brother. Just be patient. For me, to be honest, like being here in the, I'm practicing my English. But yes, Arabic content on the way, buddy. I'm building the whole DR division team to support me make content. Expanded Galaxy. I have experimented with them both. In both is definitely a problem, for me a problem, no problem. But I thought I would ask. Thank you for asking and welcome to the channel. It's good to have you. And I wish you good luck with the project. Also, if you want to share screenshots of it, we have a link to our community on Discord, and it's not only for like architecture and whatnot. Like we have people from all backgrounds. They have mainly, I think, my favorite two channels are the work in progress and the finished work channels. مون على الأقل قول يعني من فضلك أو شيء. تكرم. Hey, Amal. Happy weekend, buddy. How are you? What was the name of the Blender plugin you told me about earlier from Unreal Sensei to Blender? Moon, you want to learn more about cinematics in Unreal Engine in Arabic. You know what? The next stream will be exactly on that. I got you. And it should be next week, okay? So usually Jum'ah, Fridays, for the Arabic channel, I think it's a good time. It will be in the morning. I will schedule that and I look forward to see you. Otro, I tried using the NVIDIA Omniverse plugin for Blender to export USD scenes to Unreal 5 and it works great. Wow, nice. Thank you. You know what? I want to copy your message and give that a shot and also try it live in the next one's upcoming streams. Thank you, man. I'm glad you are Arturo. Sorry, man. Thank you. What type of scenes did you export from Blender? And did materials work, textures? Usually the hardest thing to export like from any tool is the textures and materials. Did you have any problem with these? Batch FPX exporter from Unreal Sensei. So if you open Google, guys, this is the plugin I'm gonna take a look at in the near future. But if you batch FPX exporter, type Unreal Sensei, I think you all know this guy. I love his channel. You find this YouTube video to teach you about how to use the plugin. Yes. And how you can use it and like all the different and nice cool things about it. So it's here. And if you want to download it, it's on Gumroad. It's for free. You can leave a donation, I think, if you want. It's Unreal Sensei Batch Exporter add-on for Blender. This one. So I have it. I didn't try it yet, but according to your boy Amal and according to some reviews and the video I saw, it's like so good. I just want to try it. So for anyone who is looking for solutions to export from Blender to Unreal, this is the way. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, Amal. Shout out to your boy Amal. Amal, you helped me so much, man. Let me put the chat again next on the screen. And so I can read. Mortad More. Buddy, how are you? Greetings. And textures, my friend. Habibi, it's good to see you. Canal the photo. Habibi. Hey, good to see you, man. How are you? This is the first time you joined the live broadcast. I saw your comment a couple of weeks ago. It's amazing how you are using Unreal Engine. It's very interesting for me to see people from non-technical background learning Unreal and using it, because it's like it's almost seeing the tool from completely different perspective. So it's good to have you, number one, and feel free to ask any question. Number two, and number three, I'm here. Any question you get, ask it. I don't know why I made numbers, but it's funny, right? Arturo. I export interior scenes for yes, the question earlier on NVIDIA Omniverse. I export interior scenes for architectural visualization, PPR materials. Export great, but materials with nodes, you can bake them using the Omniverse plugin and then export everything in USD. Nice. That's exactly what I wanted to know about. Materials that are using nodes to create materials procedurally, right? So there is an Omniverse plugin that will allow you to bake these. Nice. Thank you so much for sharing this, Arturo. I'm really excited about trying this, actually. Amal, USD is hard to set up. I feel I tried it earlier but failed. I would give the Omniverse plugins a shot. Yes? Wolfman, how I put my vote in my game. It will be a small project, but my vote, so who will play the game? If you are working on your game, join us on Discord and share screenshots, videos, and get more people interested in it. And that's how you put your download link, I think, on itch.io, the website for games. And if you are working on games, Wolf, there is Unreal Epic Mega Jam. Unreal Epic, wait, I forgot the name of it. But it's kicking off next week or in 10 days. Unreal Mega Jam. So this would be a great opportunity for you to actually participate. Like, I'm not a game developer, I work in games, but I hear the best practice to make games, Wolf, is to participate in game jams, right? And there is the Epic Mega Jam 2022. With these sponsors, I would register here. So here's a link. And I look forward to seeing your video of your jam on the Discord channel. Let's go. Okay, let's get back into Unreal Blender so we make some progress. So Alt D R60 minus Z, no, not minus, then that's it. I think once you learn shortcuts, it will be easier. So again, I want to duplicate this and rotate it since we have the origin point in the middle. So Alt D to make a duplicate that is linked, then Z to make this duplicate on the Z direction, and then minus, or no minus, just type 60, but type R. Now type 60. Yeah, it's R60Z. There we go. Z. Nice. So let's select Here, make sure faces are filled. Everything is good. Here it seems I have a problem. Ha. Oh. Look at that. What did I do here? Should I just get rid of... Yeah, it might be easier actually. So let's do this. Z, wait, S, Z, 0, now 1, X, faces, right? Select these floating vertices and let's just get rid of them. Yeah, I wish I did something here. I'm not sure if this is the best modeling. Let's see. So Control R to add the loop cut. J. Let's see. Should we do this like in terms of the gate or have it like directly sliding? I like it this. I don't know. We will see. So I press tab again to get into this mode, and you may notice these vertices in Blender are slightly bigger. I made this on purpose for me. If you go to preferences, go to viewport, see these settings here and modify them. And somewhere within these you can make these vertices bigger, and I found it really helpful for me. I don't know, because the small ones are hard to see. So it's not this guy. Somewhere on the scene, but trying to limit this to Unreal. So let's select these, I think. Yeah, we need to do some topology fix. That's okay. And this is the part I hate. Let's dissolve these vertices. And let's just for now fill. Arthur, when you launch the Omniverse program, you can launch a custom Blender build that has a very robust USD exporter. If you try the normal Blender version, the USD file is a mess. Ah, nice. Arturo, I keep messing your name on, sorry. This is important. Thank you for sharing this. Amal, Shift R repeats last command. Oh, I believe you are to... I keep forgetting about this. Thank you for the reminder. We're gonna use it 100%. Thank you. Mark, as a beginner, I love watching this. Nice, man. We're both beginners now because I'm a beginner in Blender too. Welcome. Kanal. Sorry, go for question number 2, I guess. Kanal, buddy. Go with everything. Welcome to the stream. And yes, feel free to ask anything. LT, hail cheese, hail coffee, bro, and water, and staying hydrated. The Vokta, with Ctrl X, you can dissolve vertices faster. Really? Let's press Ctrl Z. So usually I press X and I like struggle here, right? Bruh. Thank you. You see why this is why I love this community. Thank you. It's awesome. So wait, I can do the same? Whoa. Okay, that's a game changer. So you see, I've been using Blender for like 2 years now. Every time I press X and I wonder why I just in the Max we have control backspace to delete the thingy and the vertices, right? The edge. So here I wonder like, bruh, why these options, right? And now you tell me Control X. Wow, you're an absolute habibi. Thank you. Bro, you made my day. Thank you. Discoveries, baby. Um, how to prepare material in order for it to act like a diffuser for light. Let's say you have a light behind thin cloth, and this cloth plane will act as a diffuser for the light any tips. Interesting. Let's see if we can build something quickly and take a look at the cloth settings and the material, do a quick test setup, and see if I can get that answered. And Adam Grask, hey buddy, welcome back. Hope you're having good weekend. Okay, so let's go to the answer on preparing a material to act like a diffuser for a light. See how, if we can manage to do that. And I need to stay hydrated. Recently, I was working with my team on a couple of scenes that are for look development. So we're like building studio setup and whatnot for the furniture and whatnot. So let's just call this studio for now. I make always inside my projects folder a new folder for every specific project. And let's call this studio. And let's call this maps and put the map here. And let's open this new map and gonna press Shift 5 to switch to modeling mode. I'm gonna make a floor. So click rectangle, click anywhere, or just make it like bigger. So add 2 zeros here. 1000 units by 1000 units. That's 10 meters by 10 meters. Every 1 unit is 1 centimeter. So click anywhere, it will create a rectangle for us. No need to see it, trust me. Click box, add it somewhere. Let's click OK for now. And let's put the rectangle on 0, 0, 0, and the same for the box. And let's bring in some lights. So what I love about Lumen, lighting works as intended in a way. It works naturally. So I'm gonna explain, and let me, speaking of naturally, let's fix the rotation of this. Let's bring in the light. And what I mean with naturally, you have a light, and this light, the source of it is wide, it's big, it's not a point in space, and you can see shadows are better. And for the sake of this explanation and moving better, and especially for you, Canal, for the best results, we have to have ray traced features, hardware ray tracing enabled. Software ray tracing is doing a nice job, but we can improve so much on the quality on these shadows. And these shadows are has nothing to do with software ray tracing. They are the VSMs, virtual shadow maps. So if you go to rendering, in Unreal 4, the type of shadows we used to have when we create source light like so used to be the shadow maps. And you can see it's damn, what is this, right? So now with virtual shadow maps and software ray tracing, we get these. Now if you want even better shadows, under hardware ray tracing, so again, about this menu, I went extremely fast, sorry. Edit, project settings, let's put this here. Under engine, always search for engine, and they're always from A to Z. Go to R, stands for rendering, so that's how I find it always. And under rendering, and under actually all these menus, I like to press Shift, hold Shift, left mouse button on this arrow, then release Shift and open it again, and everything is closed for us. It's much better and easier to read, right? So Lumen is enabled, and I'm not using hardware ray tracing for now, but you can have this enabled. And for now, in this particular example, like nothing, we have box and nothing's going to be different for use hardware ray tracing here, but things will be different later. We're gonna explore quick if we have time. But the important thing, this guy, ray trace shadows. You can see these are softer, and I believe in real life, if we had such light source, then they will be softer. Let's make it smaller, so they get harder, and so on. Let's do one by one. You can see the hardness of these shadows. And also, we're talking about Lumen in general and how it works and all that stuff. And maybe let's see if we do this. Yeah. So setting up diffusers, lights, things, it's in a way similar to what we do in real life. And I'm gonna demonstrate after I turn off the Lumen for a second to show you what before and after in a way, but there's these spam comments. Let's just delete these. Hide user, remove. Yeah, get out of here. These bots, man, impossible. Karin, buddy, how are you? Okay, so if you want to see what the project looks like without Lumen, like in what we used to have in Unreal 4, so there are like very subtle things happening here, and these two subtle things I want to discuss is the light we see here and some of the redness you can maybe see around. And in the early days, or like without Lumen, where we used to either light bake the light to achieve the same setting or visuals, or have something that is not as realistic. And without Lumen, so if you select global illumination, the none, like we need to bake the light for it, you can see the difference in this. So if you set this to screen space, yeah, it works, but it works only on the screen. So if you move your, and it's not as Lumen, it's like in beta until ever stay in beta. I don't think this will go anywhere. But now we have Lumen. We had ray tracing, standard ray tracing, and I don't think I have it enabled. So let's keep with Lumen, and you can see now the difference without and with Lumen. Now with all that said, instead of having a light source, well, we always want a light source, so let's keep it, but I'm gonna just make it bigger slightly. I'm going to make this mesh, all right, and like rotate it like so. And instead of the color red, I'm going to give it the color white. And I will add my light here, like as close as possible to this. And let it do the lighting for me. And you can see the softness of the shadows. It's not perfect. Like this is really hard to calculate, but anyway, I'm pushing the engine to its limits now, by the way. Now you asked about light diffuser, like cloth mesh. So let's see if we can achieve something like that. So I'm going to make, I will also look off stream at what console commands and things we can use to increase the quality here. So I don't want to get into this rabbit hole. I need to just adjust. Leon, you're an excellent teacher. Thank you. Thank you for being here and learning. Could be a simple plane, but the light be behind the plane. Exactly. That's what we will do. So I'm going to make a plane, but this one is too large. So let's make 100 by 100 or 250 by 250, and let's make a box. 250, 250, and thickness of 0.2. Okay. And mats. Let's make a new material here. Press and hold V click to add a color parameter, a vector node. And this vector node, it had RGBA, so you can select any color you like. Then I'm gonna press, I'm just gonna connect this to the base color for now, and I will go to the shading model, and I will switch from default clad to subsurface or to cloth. So let's switch this to cloth. And when we switch between shading models or blend modes and material domains, some of these will change, some of them will turn on and off. So notice here from default let, here you have some custom data and whatnot, so this will be changed later. And opacity, where is it? The subsurface color is also grayed out. So when we switch this to cloth, some of these will be disabled, like the anisotropy. I have problems pronouncing this. Let's laugh a little bit. Anisotropy, whatever. And yeah, so that's gone because this is for like metals and cars and whatnot, you know, like that metal effect with, I don't know. Yeah, so we have now fuzz color and cloth, and feel free to go to the documentation to learn everything about this, but let's connect this to the cloth for now. And we may need something to control the opacity. I'm gonna keep this now at like very not well, we need some opacity. Curtains have opacity. Let's make a sorry, instead of a vector parameter, let's hold S and add. So that's a scalar parameter, and let's just type opacity. And let's set this to 0.9, and let's set the color here to something close to white. So not fully white. This color in real life does not exist full white. So let's set this, for example, to 0.9. You can search for PPR values, by the way, in real world. If you want to get the exact values you want to enter here, you can find them on Google if you search enough. And this maybe can be more something we can cover on more PPR principles on materials and whatnot. You're like going full ballistic on photorealism. So let's connect opacity to opacity, and let's click save for now. How similar is the Unreal Engine 5 material graph to Blender shading tab? It is very similar. Like they both are node based. There are commands. I'm not experienced yet, or as I should, in the Blender editor, but like you can have images, you can have coordinates. Like the coordinates texture in Blender is much more advanced than here. But wait, here we basically the same features you have when you are shading something. So let's say I'm still new here, but Control Shift A, Shift A, UV map. No, not this. Mapping. Yeah, the mapping inside of Blender. Let's say this node. So let's say texture. We don't have these, like these, for example, like the type of it and whatnot. They are all accessed from here, not from here, like as drop downs. And let's say based on the texture. So for rotation, we have. So let's say this is your texture, right? And this is where we connect the UVs. So that's also in a way similar to Blender. But to be able, let's say, to do rotation, we need something called custom rotator, right? And in this guy, custom rotator, we can here put the UVs. So this must be here, and this is the tiling UV one by one. And then rotation center, this is usually we keep it empty. It's a default value. If you hover over anything, you always see more data on it. And like everything is anyway well explained. And there is a YouTube channel that almost covers every single node, whether in blueprints and materials and so on. So it's so well documented if you are learning Unreal Engine and the material editor. And almost everything you will learn in UE4, it's also applicable in UE5 when it comes to creating materials. Right. And here finally you need scalar parameters. So here it says V2, so vector 2, and if you hold 2 and click, this is vector 2. If you hold 1 and click, this is vector 1. If you hold 3, this is vector 3, and so on. So these are basically colors. One is like one channel. So one thing we need to know about the material editor inside of Unreal, all values here are between 0 and 1, and you have channels. You have by default it's red, but if you have like this, and you combine these 3 different channels together, you can achieve RGB, right? So yeah, it's so easy. Making materials and Unreal Engine is so easy, and you have so much control over everything. And because it's real time, you can animate things, well, just like Blender, but you can go like full. It's magic, I would say. And in the material editor in Unreal, you don't only create surfaces. You have something called material domain. From here you create surface. You can create light functions, volumes for like volumetric clouds and whatnot, post-process, user interface, and so on. So if you're making a stylized game, this is where you create your stylized material that you apply on your post-process to give or to get the stylized look, and so on. So yeah, I need to stay hydrated. I forget to stop and take a breath sometimes. So Victor here, or here it says S, we need to add scalar parameter, right? And connect it, and then we can rotate. So basically, it's simple. You just need to get familiar with the functions. Now let's save. So now we have a cloth material, and let's assign it, and let's make sure we call it cloth. And cloth. So this is the box, and this is the plane. And in terms of plane, I made a box with like very small thickness because I wanted to so yeah, we need to make it also very directed towards the angle. So every rectangular light, you have a door, right? And that door, if you can see, I'm gonna make it bigger. You can close it or open it, right? So I'm going to close it so it's focused as much as possible on our asset here. Something is off. This is why I bring my box instead. I don't know, makes me feel safer. And I'm wondering if the light is going to penetrate the surface we have, or if anyone have any tips on that as well. So yeah, what we for this here, in a way you can see there's stuff happening in the, like that's for sure. It's maybe, let's just get rid of this as well. But how good is it in diffusing our light? There is almost no light coming in, right? So should we reduce the opacity? Lord Hazard, I often struggle transferring custom materials I make in Blender to Unreal Engine 5 due to the differences in material properties. In a way, I feel you. We were talking earlier about Arturo mentioned in the stream about custom Blender build with USD exporter. Um, so the pipeline of exporting from Blender to Omniverse to Unreal could work because this is something I'm very interested again. Arturo, thank you so much. But there is also in that custom build where you have sometimes complex materials in Blender, especially procedural materials in Blender. These must be baked, the materials, parameters and whatnot inside of Blender. So these should be baked. The if you're using just the PPR materials, you have albedo, diffuse, normal, height maps and whatnot. These are so easy to recreate in any tool. The main differences are when you have all these custom nodes and different things to build, like custom rotator. This is a function, a material function. And I know that because it's blue. And I know that because if you double click on anything blue, it will open a more complex material with familiar functions that are connected in a way that combine RGB channels, blah blah blah, and like true stuff depending on the function we're using. But one of the things I used to do, see here you have sine, math. Basically here everything is math as well. Is to reverse engineer or try to understand what's happening. It's useful. I need to rest my back. Naveed Habibi, great haircut يا Habibi, شكرا ما شاء الله. Thank you. Wolf, I didn't understand your question. Why I start in news? Expanded Galaxy. Lol, it's magic. He's right. I followed a few tutorials recently and you can procedurally make some insane materials that change under varying circumstances. Are we talking about the material graph? It seems I'm getting some more spam. Rohina, why are you doing that? Sup, bro? Smasher dude. Good to see you, man. Sup? I'm good. Had a great week, productive week. I'm trying to have good weekend, and it's going great. It would be better if I just eat soon. I'm getting hungry, but other than that, everything is great. How about you, man? I think you are new here. Paven Gaming, how are you, buddy? Hi. How was your weekend so far? And guys, give us some food ideas. So let's do some thinking on me, for me. Now, for this particular question, Canal, if we can't answer this today, because there are some things that are simply not supported yet, right? In real time, so we may need to enable ray tracing for that. But I just want to see how this will look in path tracing and is it supported or not. And if I am missing anything. So let's make it two-sided and apply it on the plane again, because usually all curtains we export from our tools are like one face. So let's try that. Nothing. Wow. Okay. What about the other object? This is the box with the very thin surface. You bring it in. So do you see the difference between the box and the plane? It's extremely interesting. So the box is emitting something, but the plane, zero. Box with like very small thickness, You can see, in a way, it's emitting like it's so dark, but yeah. Um, how about emissive surface? So if we add multiply node, add the color, and let's make a material instance, and let's make intensity emissive. And let's disable two-sided. Let's switch this to subsurface for now. I don't want to add anything regarding emissive. And let's add this to subsurface color. See if any differences between subsurface and cloth. Wow, okay. There is a difference indeed. Okay, Canal, we're getting somewhere. So in the material domain, if you use cloth, it got, for now, it seems some built-in properties that I don't know about, but that would not allow for this to happen, right? So we have light, and then we are supposed to have... I don't understand what's happening. Okay. Okay, it is the fuzz color. It's my bad. I connected, see, when we are using a cloth material, okay, you use the name, the main color, so the albedo. No? You gotta love it when Unreal works in unpredictable ways, or when you miss something. So let's reset everything. Is this right? Okay. So switching from cloth to subsurface to cloth again. Kind of solved it. Don't know yet, but let's see with the color how things with the box. So okay, this is what cloth looks like with the box, and this is what it looks like with the plane. But let's enable two-sided. Something to remember, because now we're using a plane. That's what it looks like from the back, right? So let's enable two-sided and see how it is. Okay. Yeah, you can see there is something. Nice. But this is in a way also based on the screen. Am I using hardware ray tracing? I know I'm using ray traced shadows, but what about use hardware ray tracing when available? Yes, I am. So let's see without. Any difference in this case for the global illumination? So interesting. So this is in a way screen-based, this effect. Enabling or disabling hardware ray tracing has nothing to do with it. But actually, ray trace shadows has something to do with this. So we can try. Just keep in mind, box is not the same as a plane. So one final shot before we close on this topic. I want to switch this back from subsurface. It is subsurface now. Well, to cloth. So cloth would not work at all on a plane, but it seems subsurface does, right? But keep in mind this is like screen-based effect, so it's I hope we get improvements on this, but this is like very special case here, right? So we're having like light source, then mesh to block it, and then our object. And I'm not sure how accurate it is. You can see there's noise and whatnot. Right. Let's open back our level for the project and let's see what more questions and things in the chat we have. I'm gonna keep this to take or investigate more in future. IJH. Hey, it's my first time here. Welcome, buddy. How often do you stream? I try to stream at least once a week, but if I have the chance to do more, I do. But I think nowadays, like once a week or every 2 weeks, like this is what I'm trying to do. And we're also focusing on making videos. So I didn't make any videos for a long time, but in the channel there are also videos that are very useful and much more focused on topics inside of Unreal Engine and the things we do. And welcome to the stream, buddy. Canal, the photo. Let's try and increase the intensity of the light. That's actually not a bad idea. I just hope there's the stereo. And there's the light. Sorry. So increasing the intensity, in my opinion, I'm sure is going to do something because I experienced similar effects with the light sun, the directional light, but it's still screen-based screen-based thingy going on. But I would wait for the future updates for Lumen because if anything, these things, in my opinion, like not these exactly, but we had similar issues with the emissive surfaces and whatnot, and so many improvements happened on Lumen during this year. So I'm just hoping more for more improvements. It's a matter of time. So for now, I think the best way to have light diffusers. I'm not sure if I know if I have a best way to do so. But maybe using source texture would help. And I imagine light diffuser texture. If you, I never tried something like this inside of Unreal at least, but not these images. There are like some black and white. This would look cool in light, but not this. I think something else. Okay. I want to see the chat before we continue. I just need. Okay. I find this very interesting. I use Blender and Unity, and I haven't tried Unreal Engine yet. IGH. I would recommend trying Unreal because, as you can see here, like in general, other than this problem we were trying to look at, where if you want to add light diffuser, uh, thanks to Lumen, like lighting is really so much easier to work with. So we were discussing earlier, if we had bigger light source, you get softer shadows. And if you change this light, make it look at this source and give this source, different color, it will just work, right? So let's make something like this, any color you want, and it will just work. And imagine this across everything else, like it will simulate light in real life. There are limitations. Here you can see the shadows. And when it comes to exporting things from Blender, IGH, you can either use a blend plugin Amal mentioned earlier. It's called Unreal Batch Exporter, right? I forgot. Unreal Batch Exporter, Unreal Sensei. Yeah, this one, free batch exporter add-on. You will see the video on YouTube with the tutorial, so it's easy to export. For me, I use Blender datasmith exporter version made from the community on GitHub. So I install this, and then in Blender, I select the assets I want to export. And let's say we wanted earlier to export these, right? So let's just do this. And let's select these guys. All right. Let's select the floor, this. And there is some hidden mesh here for some reason. No problem. Let's move this to the new export we made that I can't find. Wow. Okay. I'm sure we made a layer. So, okay. I'm gonna select one of these, the meshes that we exported, that moved to that layer. So select that mesh, and here in this scene viewer word outliner, press dot, like to find it, and there we go. So it seems we didn't move it to a new layer. I don't know why. And we look here, we have some overlaps. So wait, Control X? No. What about delete? Ah, it's the same. Okay, fixed. And here. But Control X, yeah, it's my favorite shortcut today. Thank you again for teaching this. So select these. If you like, press Control X. Clean and nice mesh. Okay, press A to select everything. Actually, wait. Yeah, select A and select everything. Wait. No. Right? Yeah, right. Let's add this to the selection. Right. It seems they didn't move to a new collection for some reason. So let's select everything we want to export to Unreal Engine. So these meshes. Shift tilde, or like that thing on the corner, to move like we do inside of Unreal Engine, but inside the Blender. And I think this is the best way ever to navigate a scene. And looking good. Sometimes press G just to make sure my selection is right. And I remember, yes, we have some gate stuff. So I'm gonna save, press M, and move this to collection 9. And this collection, we're gonna call it new export or new meshes or something. I don't know. So right click and select objects, isolate, and let's press Ctrl. No need, let's see, let's not collapse anything, and let's just click export. So file, when you download the community version of datasmith, you will find the exporter here. So export, but let's make sure we select our objects first. So I'm going to press A to have this selected, and here make sure selected objects only, because you have two options. You can export the whole scene or what is selected. So selected, then I have a folder called dt_temp. This is my datasmith temp folder, and I always delete what is inside it every now and then, so like ongoing projects and whatnot. And I will give this the worst name possible, new export. I am not focusing on organization in any way during this period, okay guys? Don't judge, please. I'm just kidding, but don't judge. And don't be like me. I would prefer if you organize your projects. But it's yeah, you see? Gonna make the next stream maybe organizing. Anyway, it's still organized, right? Unless I lost my map. No, it's here. So let's open on this menu here. I call it, it's my personal preference. Instead of quickly add to the project, I call it create menu. Epic, please. So file, datasmith, import. It's technically create, import, and so many things, I know, but it's just sounds better. So new export, this is our datasmith file. We exported from Blender. Takes literally a few seconds depending on the scale of your scene. Now select a location to save your export. And just like I have a file or a folder called datasmith exports on my Windows, I also have based on my project. So usually my workflow in the studio, we always have projects, and under projects we have folders for each project. The reason we do this is because we sometimes reuse the same mega scan assets, and the same Paragon assets, or like any marketplace assets many times. And I don't want to download the same mega scan asset 5 different times, especially if it's nanite, right? So that's why I have projects and then all my projects. And yeah, that's how we do it. And that's why. So this project called Places should have better name, but now it's called Places, the code or whatever. And then usually I have also a folder for maps. And I have that, for example, here, but that's okay. Forgive me. But the folder that is important is datasmith. And I call this DT, just datasmith. And here I can save my file if it's a new file, or I can re-import my file. Just click OK, and it will import your meshes exactly where they belong in your scene. And what is imported is a datasmith scene actor that we can select and hide for now. So if you select any mesh, new export, you can hide it, unhide it, or you press Ctrl+Shift+D when you select the datasmith actor, and it will select all the children of that actor for us. And now if you take a look, yeah, I don't want this material on top of it. So right now you don't see the option to delete the material. That's because you have, from these 45 selected actors, all of them are static meshes except for this guy, which is the datasmith scene actor. If you press Ctrl, then select, now everything is static mesh, and here you can find static meshes, materials, and basically more options. So in your world outliner, if you have multiple types of actors selected, you will have less options that you can change. So keep that in mind. Now for these two materials, I'm just gonna select them here. I didn't want the materials, to be honest, and tell them, get out of here, because I want to see my mapping. And yeah, this could improve here. I did some operations and whatnot. The mapping here also must be improved because we have 6 faces, and I want for each face to face in the right direction. And when we assign our our texture. For now, as you can see, it's bad, right? It's like, what is this? It's unrealistic. So we need to fix this mapping in Blender. But now we're getting there. So we can hide these meshes or delete them or do whatever. So we can leave space for the meshes that are these. But I need to take a rest for like 5 minutes or even maybe stop. I don't know. It's been what, 2 hours? Wow, I talk a lot. So let's open the chat, see any questions, and I need to take like Call of Duty rest, if you know what I mean. But let's see the chat. Why do I keep getting spam? Yeah, sorry about these guys. So I think I'm going to set maybe the last or take a rest, be right back, eat an apple or something, and get back to you guys because I still have so much work to do on this. I'm not finished. And I don't want to close before I'm finished. Or at least like create a couple of shots because later we need to create some cinematic shots. So what I'm going to do is to take a break for 10 minutes or something. I'm gonna set a timer and get back to you afterwards. I think that's the best way. It's subsurface scattering, Navid. Oh, I see now too many messages I didn't see earlier. Canal, thanks a ton for testing this out. I'll go further some testing here today. I look forward to see your results, man. Also, if you have Discord, join us, and there you can get in touch more, share screenshots. I'm glad. Corvi, merge by distance, maybe. This for Blender. Tuna, this place reminds me of an old CS:GO gun game map. Really? Nice. I want to see that. Maybe I can find some inspiration in it. Canal de photo. Does the datasmith keep the origin point of each actor or it locks all of them to the origin of the scene? That's a great question. And no, it keeps the origin of each actor exactly where it should be. And that's one of the reasons I like to use datasmith. So when you are using sometimes FPX exporters, they all will move your pivot to 0, 0, 0 and whatnot. But with datasmith, if your pivot is here, it will stay here. If your pivot is, let's see, these guys, their pivot, the origin point we call it. So yes, datasmith will keep your pivot exactly where it is. It will not change it for you. And that's why, so let's take this an example. Let's say you didn't work on fixing this mesh in your 3D tool and you have the pivot like this, right? In Unreal 5, let's make a duplicate of this first. We have, if you go to transform, we have pivot, and here you can put the pivot, for example, in the bottom, and it's now exactly where it should be. So usually I set this up in 3ds Max or Blender, but if I forget or if I'm just processing a model, you can also do that in Unreal. Mortadmore, thank you so much, buddy. Mr. Matrix, no sound. What? There is sound, right? Are you scaring me, bro? Bro. Guys, Pavan, Fadi, Dimitri, Dennis, Mark. Hard names to pronounce. Thank you for subscribing. And those who are watching now, if you are not subscribed yet, do it. It's free. If you don't like content, you can unsubscribe later. But now, do it. Okay, no problem, Wolf. Yes, man. Canal. It will be great chatting with you too. Okay, guys. I'll take a rest. 10 minutes. Put some music for you too. And if you're still around or here, go like move your body, stretch, drink some water, make some tea. And yeah, let's talk in 10 minutes, okay? It's gonna be awkward 30 seconds while I set this up, but let's set it up. So I have be right back here, nice. But I don't have time on be right back. So wait. Where is it? Yes. We have 6 minutes here. No, I need more. I need to eat something, that's why. Can I... Alright guys, I will see you in 10. Hey guys, so let me lower the music a lot or even put it on hold for now. And we'll come back to me and to everyone. Yo, Kian. So the cinematics you've seen earlier actually are mostly made inside of 3ds Max and Unreal Engine. There are some mini projects in Blender, and this project here, actually I started even that in Max, but I then took the chance to learn Blender and expand on my knowledge in it. So all or many of the future renders you will see are in Blender. I think it doesn't matter which tool I used because the main model job was done inside these tools was about modeling, right? So I create all my shaders, lighting, and everything else inside of Unreal Engine. So I would use any tool for modeling and then Unreal Engine for everything else. So I think I need to do small little fix, I guess. No, good. All right. So coming back to the engine, I will isolate our previous meshes and just delete them or move them around so we leave space for the new ones. So select these, for example, move them up. Select this, we don't want it, or delete it as well. I'm just keeping some of them because I want their materials, right? So delete this. And this. There we go. Let me put this on the side and put the chat on the side as well so I can see. Hey, M Design, how are you, buddy? Kian, thank you, buddy. I've been doing this for many years, so that's my only tip. The longer you do what you're doing, the better you will get at it. Thank you so much, buddy. And in this stream, if you have questions on Unreal Engine and all, feel free to ask. So let's delete also these. And I have a shortcut to unhide my meshes, so that is Ctrl H. I still have this here, so I press Ctrl Z to know what meshes I need to delete and to bring in and whatnot. So I don't want to delete this mesh because I think if I do, I'm gonna press Ctrl X. I will be missing these parts here, and I don't want to go back to Blender and import these parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl V because I pressed Ctrl X, if you remember, so I can paste it back again, and I press Shift 5 to go to the modeling mode, and I will isolate my selection by pressing H as a custom shortcut, so visibility. Show only selected, you can set a shortcut for this. I think my camera is not working, right? Oh, there we go. Hey guys. Yeah, that's better. Yo, Realism, Shafia, Kurvi, thank you for subscribing, guys. Wow, let's go. So this here, while you're at it, leave a like too. Hope not asking for too much. So in the modeling tools in Unreal, we can go to poly edit. We can select the whole poly edit, but no, we want to triangle select and just move your mouse on these parts without pressing anything, whether Shift or Control. It will highlight, it will remember the selection for us. So by selecting these here, we can select delete and we can click accept. And you may have noticed that I'm going to make Alt and move Shift, so make a duplicate of this. Here we have these gaps, and I don't like gaps. Let's close them. I can't remember where was the option though, so let's search for it. I think so. Create, we can create polygons, model. Fill holes in mesh. Yeah, when you enable this, fill holes, all open edges, faces will be highlighted in red. So if you just simply click, it will create new topology for us. And that's awesome. And by simply making a copy of this, so this here, since it is a copy, we modified the source mesh, right? And the source mesh here is the exact same mesh used here. So sometimes if I want to work on part of my project, but I can't, or I don't want to move it around because I'm not able to see what's going on, I make a duplicate and I work outside, and everything I do here will be applied on every single other mesh. And the exact same principle I do in my tools here. So let's say I want to do modifications on this wall, but I don't want to isolate it and I don't want to go behind these weird camera angles. So I go outside, press Alt D, to make it linked, move it outside, then just do my thing here. So hey, what do we want? We want to make this like so, right? Now if you go back here, you can see we have the same effect, and I like it. So let's press Ctrl Z. In this case, we don't need to move the mesh here, but you get the idea. And sometimes I do it for meshes that needs rotation. So sometimes, like you have the X and Y, but you have a mesh that's rotated in weird angles. So I align normals, like I just make it, align it to the grid, and I do my whatever operations I want on it. And since it's instanced, then all modifications are applied. So let's do a bubble of 30, and this face here could look nicer if we move it just a little bit to the back side. So I'm gonna press G, then Y, then I'm gonna type what, 30 again, minus, it will move it 30 centimeters for me in the Y direction. So yeah, while we're doing our modifications, I think I missed something here. So this part we can also include in our new export. So since it's divided like this, it's just easier. I'm gonna select these and move this to our new meshes, right? And right click, select objects, isolate your selection. We don't want this. Let's come back here. Do we need to import, export anything, change anything before we do like another operation, right? And let me drink some water and let's read the chat while we're at it. Kian, I've never used Unreal Engine, but I've just got into building on Blender 2 weeks ago. Nice, Kian, welcome. So once you get started now, the hang of Blender, and create some basic environments, if that's what you're creating, or just get the basics of 3D, you can add Unreal to the mix, because Unreal is extremely easy to learn, and you have massive ecosystem of so many free assets on all monthly and weekly basis that you can download and import in your Unreal Engine projects that will complement your Unreal Engine, your Blender creations, right? So of course it's nice to learn as much as possible about 3D, but you cannot master every single skill set you need to create a project. So learn what you want in Blender and install Unreal Engine, get familiar with it, and learn its ecosystem. And earlier somewhere in this video, I got a question on where to get started in Unreal Engine, and I mentioned like the first 5 main things you should focus on in your journey, like the first 20 hours you can put in. To recap, ecosystem of Unreal, its interface and user interface, getting familiar with Unreal Engine, how to bring in data to Unreal, materials in Unreal, lighting in Unreal, and that was it. Actually, then modeling tools in Unreal and landscaping tools, and then whatever you want. But then once you learn all these, I would recommend learning cinematics, which is something we're gonna cover soon once we import all the meshes we want. So yes, Kian. And in Blender, if you're new to 3D, the first skill I would focus on learning is, of course, like the user interface and all, and also modeling as a skill. If you have an idea and you can model that idea or block it out, these are the essential first steps in production in 3D, right? So, of course, learn the fundamentals, like what is X, Y, and Z and whatnot, like, and then get into it. So, welcome to the 3D world and good luck learning. It's gonna be a fun journey, man. M Design, buddy. Is this scene just environment, or maybe you're going to add some characters working in it? Actually, I want to add some characters working at it and see if I can make some sort of short film. But anyway, I am not full of ideas on what exactly I want to add. So if you have anything you want to add or ideas, I'm design, um, please let me know. I'm open for ideas on how we can put this environment into a good use. Gurbal, for faster packaging a project in Unreal Engine, do we need a better processor or better GPU as packaging normally takes a lot of time? Um, so when we are packaging a project, there are so many things happening in the background, but I believe mainly like there is the blueprints are getting compiled into C++. So I believe a faster CPU, of course, might help, but don't take my answer on this because um, I would go to the documentation of Epic and read more on packaging and optimizing for platforms and more on that. But like rule of thumb, of course, the better CPU, GPU you have, the faster everything is going to be. I would focus on the idea I'm building, right? And like anything, unless you need to package hundreds of times something specific or like tens of times. But if you're working or thinking on the long run, I would focus more on the ideas and all. And when it comes to packaging, it's the easiest thing, trust me. Is there any live sync in Blender for Unreal Engine? Proclaw. Not that I know of, but between Blender and Unreal, there are many plugins. There is a plugin I use, datasmith, from the community. So if you Google Blender datasmith, you will find this. And there is also batch render export from Unreal Sensei that I don't have it now. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, and I'm gonna make a stream where we talk more about data and how we bring in, explore different plugins and ways to bring in data from Blender and other tools. But I would recommend using datasmith if you are working mostly with meshes and doing all your texture work and whatnot inside of Unreal. And to be honest, this is my workflow since I like many years. Like when I started learning Unreal, I used to use the traditional 3D workflow where we do everything in a 3D tool like Max, Maya, Blender, anything. But slowly I learned if I create my library of assets inside of Unreal Engine, from materials to lights to presets to setups, it would save me so much time. So in my production workflow, we focus mainly on the meshes inside of our tool of choice. And of course, if we're using something like Painter to bake textures, then that's completely different stories. But we have so many tileable textures and whatnot in our library. And of course, you have this massive ecosystem from Megascans and others. So rule of thumb, if you are working a lot outside of Max or outside of Unreal, try just to focus mainly on the meshes. And everything else, try to do it inside Unreal Engine. This will make your life much faster. Wait, not life, you don't want fast life. This will make your workflow much faster. Take life slow, take it simple, take it easy. You don't want fast life. Wolfman, welcome back, buddy. Saad, walaikum salam, habibi. Welcome. How are you? Welcome. If you're new, ahlan, ahlan. Coffee. Kiyan, you'll try your best. You gotta go eat. All right. Go eat and come back later for the cinematic. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for the sub as well. Felix, hi. Where can I ask questions regarding the Unreal Engine 5 course? You can ask me here if you like, or you can reach out to courses at vr-division.com. So in this email, courses at vr-division.com. For any questions on the courses, you can email us here and we will get back to you. Let me just get rid of this but hide user on the, yes. And Felix, if you have questions, feel free to ask since I'm here as well. The UE5 net C++. I didn't understand, Saad. Can you elaborate more? Expanded Galaxy. Does datasmith work with UE4? Yes. Datasmith is a plugin that is usually enabled by default when you start your Unreal Engine projects from the AEC templates. And if it is not, so if you can't find datasmith here or wherever it was in Unreal Engine 4, yeah, it was here in the toolbar, you can go to Edit, Plugins, and go to, well, here just type data math, and here you can find all the different datasmith importers. And the main one, the one that imports datasmith files, is this guy, datasmith importer version 1.0. If you're using Cinema 4D, you can import native Cinema 4D files by enabling datasmith Cinema 4D importer. The same for CAD files, for a number of CAD files. All information is in the documentation and in the plugins you can download. FBX importer, I find some bugs with it, so we don't use it, and it's also not enabled by default, and this tells you what you need to know. JLTF importer works great. IFC, I think this for CAD or something, and I don't know, to be honest, but yeah, this is the one you need mainly for Unreal 4 and Unreal 5. Crypto. Hi, I'm new here. Do you have any reference images for your environment? Yes, that's a good question, and thank you for asking. You're the first guy who asks about reference images. So I think it should be next to my project. So these are the Paragon characters. I wish my character have this mask on her, but I don't know where from. And this is the inspiration from Dunes. I love this type of stuff, and I love this type of mega structures, and I love space. So maybe if this was a film and it was starting from the outside of the planet, it could start from an atmosphere like this. Because I was thinking I might do like landscape shot and have many of these scattered around the world, but I'm not sure if I want to do that because I want to just finish this. So it won't take much if I want to make something like this, I guess. I'm not sure if I want to make exterior structures because, as I said, I want to finish this project, but these are here because maybe I can build on top of it. But yeah, these are the references I have, and here are more references from Dune. And instead of doing something on the outside, I've wanted to make something underground. And this mood board I might use for different projects. And this is the room from the inside, which is this here. In a way, I think these could use some work as well. And there are more. So yeah, the most important and crucial step in every project is to collect the reference. So thank you for asking this. Get a chance to show you guys the reference and what I look at while I'm working with such projects. And this makes such a nice image for using something also really quick and mega scanned assets, right? So if someone wants to make this and post it on Discord, I challenge you, do it. Take screenshot. I buy you coffee or beer, it's up to you. Khaled, how are you, buddy? Walaikum salam, habibi. Sad, how do I design 3D in Blender and how do I export it to Unreal? I was talking about some exporters for this, for Blender to Unreal. So I'm trying also to read Arabic and translate it in the same time, if in case. Um, yes, you need datasmith exporter, for example, to export from Blender to Unreal or the other tools we discussed during the stream today, and get familiar with the ecosystem, the marketplace, the free assets from Epic. So if you ask me personally, unless of course it's your choice to learn how to make characters, but for me, I don't know how to make characters. I have an idea and I can learn, but I really don't want to spend 2 years learning how to get good in characters if I can come to the marketplace here and type Paragon for free characters, or just search for characters, right? And buy something that would fit my project. And they are, yes, so that's for that. Galaxy Buddy, thank you. Yeah, it's on by default. I should definitely learn how to use it. If you learn how to use datasmith, you will save yourself so much time in like the data workflow, importing and exporting and doing revisions and whatnot. So I 100% recommend learning datasmith and how to work with it with Unreal and other tools. Khaled, will there be live streams on the Arabic channel? You have so many questions on the Arabic channels and Telegram disappeared. Why? So on Telegram channel, the Arabic one, I'm getting so many bots that are sharing. You know what bots are sharing on YouTube? Like uh not safe for work stuff, and it's not active. So I told everyone, hello guys, we will be active from now on Discord. I made a link to Discord, and there is also a link to Discord in the description of this video, and we will be active from now on Discord. There will be soon, let me know guys in the chat if you want specialized channels. So right now the official channel on Discord is English, right? But I was considering, hey, should we make like a group maybe and call it by channels? So we have Arabic, Turkish, Spanish, French if you want. Do you want something like this on our server? So if yes, let me know here in the chat, and I'm gonna talk to our Discord manager about this. So this way we can have people that can help each other in their main language. I know like some of you don't English, but I would really focus on learning English from learning Unreal. But yeah, guys, so yeah, there will be Arabic stream on Friday morning on the Arabic channel. Be there, Khaled, and prepare all your questions. I got you, homie. Muhammad, Türkiye oyunuma abi Turkish çok az. Türkiye çok çok az. So, Muhammad, good to have you, buddy. Sad. So yeah, I asked. You know what I said. My Turkish is bad. Feel free to ask in English though. Sad, what this program are you working on items? This is Blender. If you are you asking about this? Crypto. How much time does it take to model this kind of environment, especially for intermediate? This project, since I started it, I think it took me. So I didn't work on this, I think, for the past what? Since the last live stream. I'm working on this only during live streams mostly. So far, maybe 30, 35 hours in, but this is distributed like on a month and a half or something. And what is funny about this project, I wanted to finish it in just one day. I would say if I were to start on this project from start to finish and like have focus on it to finish it, it would take a week, 10 days max. And the most time consuming task was figuring out first the spaciousness of the environment and making sense of large scale things. So I had some design challenges and I had to draw some sketches and think a lot about like, yeah, why you have very large people or very large things. So like this is like very old. I had to make come up with some stories and background about why I am making this environment, right? So that was a challenge. And number two challenge was distributing all these decals around the project. And I think it was a mistake on my end to put these decals everywhere, but that was because I'm just walking all around. I'm happy with the environment and it's spacious and nice, and I want to see decals everywhere. But in reality, when I was working on the cinematic this morning, um, I will show you something. Like none of this will appear, right? Or not none of this, but like I'm sure 60-70% of these decals will not appear. Uh, yeah, so I can focus my work more in future, I believe. And yeah, so 2 weeks, 10 days, a week. For intermediate, let's say a month max, right? Sounds good, especially if you're learning so many things. But yeah, I got to a point where I want to stop working on this and just move on to the next project. So I can spend weeks and months working on this and adding details and building outside and inside. But I think the best answer, crypto, depending on the kind of environment you're creating, uh, like what is the purpose of it? If there is going to be some gameplay, I want it also, yeah, I want it to have the freedom to walk around and maybe shoot some people, use later um template. Give me a second. But this is mainly for cinematics, so we will see. Khaled, you got it, brother. Next Friday, put it on your calendar. It will be in the morning, not too early, but about 11 a.m. something, Turkish Istanbul time. Emil, Salam Yahya, do you like the surreal architectural style? Emil or Emily? I love abstract architecture, organic. So if you mean by surreal, if you mean organic architecture, then yes. See, this is good question. I think my favorite types of architecture are the minimalist. Sorry, I need to just pay for food. Give me 1 second, guys. Hello. Good, thank you. Give me 1 minute. Is there Eva? Hey guys, it was the food guy. He didn't have the card machine and I don't have cash, so I had to take the IBAN and you know the drill. Maybe not, I don't know. So we were talking about Emily, your question. I love minimal architecture, and my favorite architect in minimal architecture is Fran Sylvester Architects. I love these guys or what they do. It's so nice. The minimal architecture they do, all their projects in general. So if you explore all their projects, especially on Instagram, they make such cool projects. So I love this type of architecture in general. And my Pinterest will tell so much about also what type of architecture I like. So these type of environments that, as you said, surreal, I like making these. I have these unreal experiences. Anything organic, anything Zaha Hadid, anything futuristic, utopian, brutalist, I appreciate. So if I have, this is like, yeah. So thank you. Good question. I like talking about architecture. What about you, Emily? What type of architecture? And the same for you guys. What are your favorite architectural styles? Modern? Uh, you tell me. Unk Games. Hello, buddy. Boto something. Will this run in VR? VR Division? Well, this can run in VR, but it needs optimization. So something to know about your projects in Unreal Engine 5. If you want to run your projects in VR, you want to bake your lights. So we cannot use Lumen now for VR projects. So with some optimizations taken in mind, and of course reducing these well, I think what's taking the frame rate is the number of lights, because I have so many lights scattered around. I'm not sure if these guys will do anything. Nope. Decals take almost no performance. Well, they do take actually. But they are very cheap. So yeah, this can run in VR, but it needs work. Isa Sadek, welcome Habibi. Thank you for subscribing. Khalid. Yes, brother. So guys, just so you know about YouTube, the English channel and the Arabic channel, I'm building a whole team to help me and to bring even more people on board to make videos. So in future, on this channel and the Arabic channel, expect for more people to appear here who will share with you amazing tips, amazing tricks, how to make amazing projects. Focus on the word amazing. Just put it in front of everything. So yeah, this is what we are working on. And we have already about 100 Arabic videos, but we just need to edit them. And I recently found video editors, and these two video editors I found, or we found, it's not me, English only. We were struggling in finding video editors, like for million reasons, of course. I'm not gonna say struggle, but like we have some standards and like things. So all of that is the process, and I'm gonna add announcement in a moment. But yes, there are once we bring on board new video editors who speak Arabic, because for the Arabic channel we need someone who speaks Arabic. Expect so much content. And for English channel guys, I have surprise for you. Got two editors now working together at VR Division team and editing these videos, whether live or videos that are specifically recording for YouTube to help us just make more videos. So thank you so much for your patience and for your support, all of you. Crypto, did you saw the extra diamond state of Unreal 5? I don't think I saw it. If you can share a link or something that we can take a look later, or what I would search on Google. Yes. The train station. Yes, of course I did. And I was reading an article on the making of on it recently that I recommend for everyone to read. So let me find it. Your boy Lorenzo, right? Yes. And so there is this read, which is nice indeed, but there is also an article making of behind the scenes. I think it is somewhere here. So for any aspiring environment artists, I really recommend reading this piece. Whoa, look at this. Yeah, there is gameartist.co.uk. This guy. I'm gonna paste the link in the chat for anyone who's interested. This is really nice read, guys. He talked about the process, how he broke down the project, reference, modeling, very cool stuff. Initial block out, putting all the scene into modular pieces, which is something extremely important. Yeah. Oh, I closed the menu or something by mistake. That's okay. Where is my live chat? And this, I like that because I love anything that has to do with brutalist architecture. Such a nice environment. Nice. So cool, right? How much time does it take to model this kind of environment? Oh, this is another question. Can you please model this? Will be really helpful for us to understand if you make it from scratch. Thanks. Well, I had a project that I started like last year, Japanese environment. I stopped because it was way too ambitious and the modeling tools in Unreal didn't help me. But I had this environment in mind that is also urban, and I want to make 100% inside Unreal Engine. So I will tackle this in future. But for now, I think the streams we have planned for August are about architecture, and there are like plan I'm working on. I think we can make public once we really figure it out. But once we finish this environment, we'll focus slightly on architecture, share everything, all the fundamentals. I just want really to like get everything on level so we can tackle more advanced things. So taking things step by step. Absolutely, crypto. Welcome to the channel too, by the way. Priyanshu. Also, if you can talk about adding flowing water or some kind of fountain in Unreal. This is possible because one of the next projects we're working on is inspired by this environment. So if I show you this real quick before we get into the topic. So now we're gonna talk about cinematics after this kind of stuff. We're gonna see if we import all materials, assign materials, then cinematics, okay? Need to focus on the project. And I need to eat my food. So yes, we have a project or an environment similar to this in the making, and the purpose of we have a couple of projects actually in the pipeline that we're making similar to this in high quality, and we want to make tutorials on them. So let me know in the comments where we generally want us to focus, but we have stuff on architecture, film and virtual production, and metaverse environments, and retail and fashion. Well, three of them are together basically. So when it comes to water, I love all futuristic environments to have water for some reason. So Stay tuned, buddy. Isa, honestly, I didn't understand your question, to be honest. It's so complicated because it's not that simple what you're asking about. But are you talking about like importing series or something? I didn't understand. And yeah, that's it. Wow, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Can you make an Android workflow live stream in future? I am talking to someone who is familiar with creating and exporting Unreal projects to Android, and I am interested in learning this. So it might be me or someone, but yes, we have something for this plan for future. Okay, guys, before we continue, I want to. I don't. Do I have the link here? I deleted it. Let me see. Just so you know, guys, we are looking for people who are experienced in 3D modeling for, and we want to create high quality Archviz 3D models for Unreal Engine. And we got a couple of Archviz projects in the pipeline, so the assets will be for these. And we're also working on making a marketplace for Unreal Engine Archviz artists to have game ready furniture assets in the highest quality possible. So we're looking for all types of people. We're looking part-time, full-time, contractors, but first it's like it's a process. So first it's part-time and then it's full-time. But if you are also comfortable working as freelancer, or we will come to an agreement. However, it's important before we come to an agreement. Of course, if we're talking to, unless you are a veteran, there are some tests that we're doing to before we proceed to our like NDAs and commercial work and whatnot. So if you are interested, if you are experienced in 3D modeling and creating textures and familiar with PPR workflows and creating props, if this interests you, assign or like I mean fill this document and our HR team would reach out to you with the tests and then after that interviews and yeah. Something else, guys, you should know. We if we are also have like so many friends in studios, so I'm just generally like it would be nice. It is nice that again, like just so you know, like those who are new maybe or just like something to consider in future. I already work with the community on like finding the right how I can put this. So some many of you join us on Discord and we talk and we get to know each other and we this happens in the span of like long time, right? And I already worked with so many people I met through this YouTube channel and Discord, but now because VR division we are expanding as a team and as a projects and all, there is now an HR team and we are improving and on streamlining this process. And hey, your work is amazing, but there is no, we couldn't work together. We're not gonna forget about you. So if you found good opportunity, if you found good studio, if you found you something good, we will reach out to you and connect you with the right people. And the same is true for studios. So if you're a studio looking for artists, all of this will be streamlined on our website soon. But yes, just so you know, this is some of the things we're working on, and this is why I'm extremely busy. I'm not uploading anything to YouTube and like just going live instead of videos. So there is so much happening under the hood, many surprises in the way, and let's just get back into it. So I'm gonna post this for you in the chat, answer some questions before we get into cinematics and like materials. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I just submitted a link for the form and I'm going also to pin the message. There will be a test that we will send for you, and based on the test results, we will proceed basically. Like, you know how it is, guys. There's always many applications to proceed, many portfolios to look at, and we're doing our very best. But what I can promise you is we will always keep in touch. And this is why I made also announcement this morning, well, not this morning, like 3 hours, 2 hours ago. If you are interested in improving your portfolio and you are hoping to work with us or others in the future, you can join us on Discord, leave a comment for your portfolio, or just leave it as a comment on this specific video, because I will be hosting a live stream soon with your boy Wizzle to review your portfolios, your work, your projects, and give you some constructive feedback. So me and your boy Wizzle will be here soon. These are the announcements again. Guys, you have no idea how much I'm hungry. I'm gonna see if I can eat the food. I don't know, let's see. So like it looks small, so I thought maybe I can try. Kebab, but from Indian restaurant, so very interesting. I can't eat during the stream, guys. Just let me have one bite, okay? I'm really hungry. I just want to taste it before it gets cold. We can stay for let's say 20 minutes, answer some questions, show you a couple of tricks, and then finish the stream. But I'm starving. I didn't eat anything. Did you try modeling inside Unreal Engine, and why no one using Unreal Engine modeling tool? Yes. I started this environment inside Unreal Engine to create my 3D block out of that environment. And then I continued on it on Blender. Modeling tools in Unreal Engine are amazing. And you can do more than modeling. You can adjust your UVs, you can do sculpting, you can remesh, you can displace. So I think modeling tools are so much underrated. And do yourself a favor, everyone, and check out the modeling tools and see what you can do with them. And if anything, they will improve from here. I hope it's okay to eat and chat with you guys. It's like we're family now, we're friends, no one is stranger, right? Let's just put it here so we can see what's up. Hello, how are you? If Jenny, how are you? What's up? This is how I translate sometimes from other languages. Should I switch from Unity to Unreal Engine 5? Federico, I would not switch. Well, it depends on what you're doing with Unity, but I would start learning Unreal Engine 5. And for some projects, I still see people preferring Unity over Unreal, especially mobile projects. Like if you want to make a VR chat environment, you must have some knowledge in Unity, right? I would like I just, not to sound biased, of course, if you ask me, hey, what do you want? I tell you Unreal Engine over Unity in every single, like for me, right? But there are reasons for each and every one of us using the tools we are using, right? So it does not feel right for me to tell you to switch. So you need to to figure out why could UE5 be better for you over Unity. And feel free to ask, I will answer if possible. Did you try it? Thank you. Please, here, where is the link? Yes. When you develop with Unreal Engine, Wolf, you can publish your projects to any platform. Next gen, future gen, PC, Nintendo. Each and everything have their own libraries and things to install and to consider. But the beauty of making projects in real-time engines, game engines, is you can distribute your content to any platform. It can be 360 images, it can be videos, it can be interactive experience, it can be pixel streamed, it can go to Android, to TV if you want, right? So yeah, the answer is yes. But you will need a studio and stuff and like some quality standards to hit when it comes to game developments. It is possible, but how easy it is to publish a game on PlayStation, I don't know. Federico, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Kebab, as always, Saha Afia. Get energy to continue the stream. Yep, it's so good. It's me, Orion. Show how you model. Guide forever. I will. If you go back also on the stream, we were doing some modeling stuff, but there are many and more modeling things on the way. And if you have specific questions, do it. We'll see if have some modeling work now. We can go at it. Gurpal, is there a plugin one click to automate LOD in Unreal Engine? So in Unreal Engine 5, that one click is not a plugin, is nanite. So there is also, if you're not using nanite, sorry, there are ways where you can generate multiple level of detail objects for your mesh with one click. Okay, you need to Google it, but yes, it's native. It is a built-in feature, no need for a plugin. So it's inside Unreal Engine. You can either generate LODs or you can just enable nanite and then you don't want LODs. Leon, we have no problem with you eating. Thank you. I don't know why YouTube do that sometimes in design. If you want, check out my whip for the Clint challenge. Let's do it. So let's open the server and let's go to whip. Wow. Nice. This style of modeling is so cool. This is so nice. What did you use for modeling and texturing? The normal tools, right? Substance. Good job, man. Nice. Yeah, guys, come show us your work. There will be another live stream with Wizzle, as I said. My hands are dirty, I should not touch the mouse. Let me put this on the side, wash my hands and come. So give me just 2 minutes, okay? And I'm gonna also take a bite. Talk about more energy for the stream. I hope you guys are staying hydrated. I'm going to check the last question on the chat before we dive deep back into Unreal. Unity is a lot better for making 2D platformer games. That could be right. I didn't try making platformer games, but again, this is related earlier to the question of switching between Unity and Unreal, right? Insightful Orion. From where the heck do I start learning Unreal Engine? I have zero experience programming. Thunderbolt, do you want to learn programming or Unreal Engine? Or you have no experience in programming? Is that what you said? Gurbal, Nanite and LODs, which better for optimization? It depends. With Nanite, there are some sort of, well, if the future is Nanite, just so you know, right? Because it's much more streamlined and easier to work with. But if it is not supported on, let's say, mobile devices or some sort of device, or there is some sort of feature that does not have Nanite, then you can use LODs instead. But there is no need to use the word instead, because I believe, I'm not certain, but I believe it is completely fine to have a scene where you have Nanite enabled on most meshes that Nanite can be enabled on, and have objects with multiple level of detail. So I believe that should be fine. But if you can use Nanite, use it. This scene does not use Nanite now because everything is extremely low poly mesh, but I'm gonna enable Nanite on it anyway because Lumen works better with Nanite. Like global illumination in a way is faster to calculate. Like you will not see massive differences in lighting. In fact, you may not see any difference in lighting, but in general, like behind the hood, under the hood, Lumen and Nanite works well together. So that's something to keep in mind, buddy. Gurbal, buddy. Yes. Daybay. I learned Blender and Unreal at the same time, but sometimes it looks like wasting my time and just focus in Unreal. What is your opinion to keep learning both? That's a great question. That's a great question, Daybay. So first, because let's assume if you are new to the industry, I would actually keep learning as much as possible. For future, I want you to focus on Unreal and making yourself strong in Unreal. But let's say in the industry, there is demand for everyone and for all roles. So you should follow what makes you happy in a way, or where you see yourself spending so many hours without getting bored. And you may find that in Blender or Unreal. Now, the tools are fundamentally different. Blender is a DCC tool, digital content creation tool. Unreal is a game engine. So, when you want to create anything, we mainly do that in tools like Blender. I feel there is spam again, right? Hide. Yeah. So if I'm gonna like add myself as see myself as an example on how I would learn or relearn or something. Well, since I started learning Unreal Engine, since I started using Unreal Engine, first I used to create everything inside my 3D tools like modeling, texturing, light maps, everything. Not light maps, but maps, lights and all. But I discovered that I can only get away with modeling and mapping and like some technical things. So you really must learn 3D modeling, UV mapping, unwrapping, all these things if you are considering, or you like, you see, you need to learn different skills in different tools and mix them together. Let me show you. This is a new book I'm reading now, and this is the book I I'm just imagining myself like just learning Unreal and 3D and like learning, and it just makes sense for me. For all of you guys, like, because this is a massive industry, and in a way we're lucky we can get away with not get away, but because of, see here it says the future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. That's it. So learn both tools and see what works for you, because it's a massive industry and there is so much you can do with both tools. But always know the future is interactive. Therefore, anything you're going to create in any tool, DCC tool, it will end up, it should actually end up, if you want good career that pays well and so on, it should end up in a game engine. In this case, it's Unreal Engine. So it's more than a picture or a video or something. It is something you can interact with or just make more content out of. So that's my tip, Bruski. And yeah, so modeling, unwrapping, texturing, UV mapping, the fundamental skills to help you create content. And when you learn Unreal Engine, get familiar also with the Unreal Engine marketplace and their free content. So they give away free content every month. There are, if you're working in architecture and you have like nice rooftop scene and you want assets, there is that. There are thousands of assets on the marketplace for free. Not thousands, well, if you want to say hundreds, that's well, if you want to count them, we can say even much more than that. So yeah. So in my opinion, some of the most important skills nowadays is the ability to find assets that works for your projects fast, in addition to what you know in Blender or Max or anything, because you will not be able to know everything, right? So get familiar with the marketplace, Sketchfab, the resources online, and focus on making portfolio pieces like one by one to put your acquired skills into action and something people can see, evaluate, and criticize, and then help you improve. And this will determine your path, because you will figure out what you like doing. From where the heck? So this is the earlier question. I hope this helps you a little bit, Bruski. I want to learn Unreal Engine, but I don't have any knowledge on programming. Okay, Thunderbolt. So I mentioned earlier, if you want to learn Unreal, get familiar with the user interface, then the ecosystem, materials, lighting. If you go through the stream, you will see all the steps I mentioned. There will be timestamps later. And for programming, no one has to know programming in order to learn and use Unreal Engine. So of course, it's okay. It's nice if you know C++, if you're developing applications and whatnot. But let's say even you want to make a game and develop applications and whatnot, you can learn something we call visual scripting. And that is in Unreal Engine called Blueprint. And Blueprint is a very simple interface that you put nodes in and connect. Well, it starts simple, but it can get much more complicated. But you don't need a programmer to understand event, begin, play, and arrow here that you can connect somewhere. So let's type, for example, print string and type hello. So when a game starts, type hello. So Blueprint is your way to go if you're not a programmer and you want to learn how to prototype interactive things inside of Unreal Engine in the future. So yeah, Thunderbolt. Nanite and LODs. I'm learning Blender. All right. How I do put the video? I didn't understand, Sad. The video will be on the channel if you're talking about this. Name of the book. Ah, yes. Mastery by Robert Greene. It's actually a good book. I read like the first quarter, and it's about, he studies masters in the old worlds, not old worlds, like Leonardo da Vinci, Charles Darwin. These are the first two characters I read about. And in a way, he discuss what makes them and things they reflected on. It's very, very, very interesting read. It's like, this is the first book I read, and I read so many pages and I don't feel the time. So I'm enjoying it so far. Once I learn more about, like, I get more into it, I'm gonna talk more about it perhaps. But for all of you, I'm a nerd when it comes to book. I have so many books. I love books, especially audiobooks. What the project you're working on, Wolfman? Thanks for the answer, Davey. My pleasure, man. So, Wolf, thanks for asking this. Let's get back to the project we're working on. So now we need to reassign the materials since we move things around. And we need also to work on these parts. So let's assign this material here on some of the faces. Right. We need to have a couple of material assets. So let's select this group, Ctrl Shift D to select everything, and then isolate, then go to unlet, and let's assign, before we assign any texture, let's fix the UVs on our meshes here. So let's get back to Blender. Let's select everything. Let's select tab. Let's select, so yeah, A, tab, A, again, and then I think U, cube projection, and then I'm doing 200 units, and let's export this. So I'm gonna select everything, and I have datasmith exporter saved in my favorites, and I can replace my export file, and I can save it by date, so I can see always the first one, the latest export. And of course, I make sure that selected objects is enabled, and I come back to the engine. Let's go here, select the file, click re-import, and wait. Oh shit. It re-imported the materials, and I don't want the materials, so let's delete them. And to prevent this from happening, I will adjust some settings on the file, the datasmith file. So re-import materials and textures, let's disable it. Click import. So there is something about the scale and units that I don't 100% understand yet. So in my scene, I have in length centimeters, I have my unit scale set to 1. How? This is set to metric. Should I set it to like 0.1? So I'm gonna experiment with this later regarding the scale, but I'm gonna hit tab again, select everything, and do a cube projection on UV mapping when I hit U. So again, select everything, hit U, cube projection, and instead of entering cube size of 200, because I'm still used to 3ds Max where I work with centimeters, we should enter just 2, which is 2 meters. My bad. Alright. You see, now I know the reason why this is massive in terms of mapping, right? So, what did I do? Origin to 3D cursor. Okay, cool. Yeah, select everything and let's export. The name of the book is Mastery, brother, by Robert Greene. Select the file, replace it, go back to Unreal, re-import, and there we go. So mapping looks right now on our meshes. And let's deselect the datasmith actors so we have access to our materials. And let's assign the same material on all surfaces, I guess. And these guys too. Yeah, these guys needs better work in terms of the mapping on them. Actually, we don't even see them, so it's completely fine. But some of them we do. So for the floor, let's delete this. Add this instead. And add this. So these are previous meshes I did directly inside Unreal Engine. I'm going to delete them so they are they're not overriding each other. And need to fix some of the decals on the project here. Because I had a very sharp angle, but I changed it, so we need to select some of these surfaces and move them down. In a way that is okay. Of course, this will make this looks interesting. Should I keep it? Get rid of it? What do you think of these angles here? Yeah, it's too perfect. Earlier I had a test where I booleaned meshes from each other to have like imperfect edge. I can replicate that, but it will be for another time. Ah, Saad, yes. Thank you. There is a team working on the videos. For me, I like to go live and talk to you guys, interact, answer questions. So I will take now the last 15 to 10 minutes to answer any of your questions, guys. I need to go for a walk, get some work done. I think it's already been 3 hours and a half. So let's make this final amount of it for this. And while we're at it, I'm gonna make a couple of shots so we can wrap up the stream here. Because what I will be doing next is making more of these shots. So let me show you. This morning, I went to my favorite website to bring and find music, which is Epidemic Sound. And I searched for ambient music and whatnot and like stuff I like. And what would be next? I download that music as wave file, and I import it into Unreal. So I may just make a folder called music here. I import the music here and I open my master sequencer. I don't have any shots that are good yet because it's just placeholders. But usually what I like to do is to arrange my shots inside the editor here and add the music and get a feeling for the music, the camera speed, the animations, the cuts, So don't focus on what these shots are showing or the order, but maybe just you can feel with me the atmosphere and the music and tell me if you like the music, if it works for this or not. What do you think, guys? So let's do this. So I need also, I'm working on a new aspect ratio for the cameras. I'm using 23 by 23.5 by 10. It was a boy deep. Film 23.5 by 10. Yes. For the width and height, it's like this 16 by 7 aspect ratio. So delete this. Let me put the headphones. Yeah, not this shot. Here. Let me turn on the headphones so I can hear with you. I hope it's not too loud. Sorry. I just made it less loud. So I left the first 5 seconds empty because I imagine in the editing there will be some text here, some like the background of this place and history and whatnot. So I just left that as placeholder. And here inside of Unreal, I like the fact that I can see the lave wind. So of course, what I would do here, once I finish making all my shots, usually I would make like 20, 25 shots, 30, I don't know, a lot. And I take the best shots I can find. Of course, I'm not saying these are the best. And then I also try and sync them to the music. So when music changes, when you sync your shots to the music, it's always nice. And music is the most important factor of any project, right? So yeah, the next step for me, I'm gonna record that. Sorry. Creating cameras, animating these cameras, finding the right angles and putting them in the right order to the best of my abilities. And usually I like to limit my cinematics from like 30 to 90 seconds. That should be enough. Depends on the project, of course, but yeah. Unless it's a short film, then it's something completely different. All right, guys. I will take the last couple of minutes to take your questions, if there are any, and we will finish today's stream here. How do I make characters speak while she moving or she lips and body? Whoa, that's that you need motion capture suit and you need an iPhone or something, or any, like, not an iPhone, but like it's the easiest to start with because you like get the live link, face link, cam something. Uh, there are, maybe, I'm not sure, but not William, Jonathan Winbush may have tutorials on the face cam stuff if you Google his channel. But there is a lot to this, but this is not an easy question to answer. Visual production is your next step if you want to do this. But Wolf, Step by step, buddy. Amazing questions, that's for sure. I love your curiosity. And if that's the point, then yes. But if you are willing to learn everything you asked about today, be careful. Take it easy. Let me stop this with the chat. Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure. I think we took all the questions. Thank you so much. Yes, we took all the questions. I look forward to seeing you very soon. I wish you an amazing weekend, productive weekend if you're working, and very chill weekend if you're resting. Take care, keep on creating, and just like always, stay hydrated. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers, everyone.